So yeah, hello all. Myself Bhushan Lokhande. Little bit about myself. So I'm like a senior engineer and product owner at Red Sift, working on certificates and Hardenize product. Previously, I worked on secure element trust provisioning at NXP Semiconductors, and I was also a primary developer for SSL Labs during my time at Qualys. So yeah, let's jump into the topic. So on agenda, we first take a look into what is BIMI and how it works. Then email clients and certifying authorities that support BIMI, and then some insights from BIMI certificate transparency monitoring. So yeah, what is BIMI? So BIMI stands for Brand Indicators for Message Identification. It is an email standard that enables organizations to display their brand logo, verified brand logo, next to every email they send. It requires strong DMARC enforcement with 100% reject or quarantine policy. So DMARC is built on top of SPF and DKIM. And yeah, and this is how a brand logo will be displayed on email clients. I have examples from Gmail. So on the left side, I have a VMC type of BIMI certificate. So for verified mark certificate, clients would show a brand logo along with blue check mark. So yeah, so every email you get from OpenAI, you see a brand logo as well as blue check mark. So that's like a visual assurance of sender authentication. On the right side, I have a CMC type of certificate. So for common mark certificate, clients would only show a brand logo, as in like, yeah, Perplexity example. Then without BIMI setup, it's usual no logo as well as no blue check mark. So as I have here Anthropic example. Then how does BIMI certificate look, or what is different comparing with standard website web PKI certificates? So in case of BIMI, we have in the subject mark type. So on the left, I have VMC example. So this one is with mark type registered mark. So in this case, you have in the subject trademark office, trademark country, and trademark identifier where the logo is identified, validated. In case of CMC, this is less stricter validation. I have this one with mark type prior use mark. So this is based on continuous use of brand logo on a website. For at least 12 months. So that's how the validation works. And in the subject, you have then a prior use mark source URL. So where the logo has been validated. That's the case for CMC. Along with that, in certificate policies, you have certificate mark policy identifier, and then extended key usage indicating BIMI usage. And the last one, the important one, you have in the logo type extension, full logo SVG embedded into the certificate in tiny PS base64 encoded format. So the whole logo is there in the certificate. VMC versus CMC mark types. So in VMC, we have registered mark, which is validated against trademark office, whereas government mark is validated against government bodies. For CMC, we have prior use mark, which is based on the prior use of logo on the website, and modified registered mark. This is like a modified variant of your officially trademark logo. So if you have, in that case, you get a CMC certificate. This is a snapshot I have from Red Sift free BIMI checker. And here, once your DMARC strong enforcement is validated, then the BIMI DNS TXT record is checked. In that, you have this A tag, which points to a VMC or a CMC certificate. That certificate is fetched by clients, and then trust validated, and then logo is extracted, and on a successful validation, that logo will get displayed on your client. So these are the email clients that supports BIMI. So the major players like Google, Apple, and Yahoo already supports BIMI. Some are in progress or considering BIMI, and Microsoft is yet to jump in. On certifying authorities side, they are called mark verifying authorities in BIMI ecosystem, and we currently have DigiCert, Global Sign, and SSL.com, the active issuers in the ecosystem. We have only one CT log operator currently active. So we have this DigiCert Gorgon CT log. And from monitoring insights, so DigiCert Gorgon currently has 26,000 plus entries right now. And analyzing non-expired pre-certificates, this is how the CA distribution looks like. So DigiCert is the major issuer, and others are following up. And taking a look at VMC versus CMC distribution, yeah, we have majority of certificates issued are VMC. Then some use cases of this CT data. So yeah, it exposes a new transparency data set of public data set of verified logos and trademark information and brands. Then standard monitoring and auditing CA compliance use cases. Along with that, also some interesting use cases like detecting logo misuse or brand impersonation, finding lookalikes, detecting mismatch between logo and company or the organization name. So these are like for few examples. For instance, we have it in our Red Sift brand trust product. Some insights from analyzing those entries. So the first one is example where I found one instance of entry where this mark certificate general policy identifier was missing. So this is like a mandatory identifier needs to be there. So I've found one instance of that. So that's like a policy violation. Second, I found one instance of a prior use mark certificate that doesn't have prior use mark source URL where it was like validated. Then few instances of malformed SVG inside the certificate, and then a bunch of other cases around mandatory elements like title or version, base profile missing, or forbidden elements being present in the certificate. So yeah, a bunch of these cases. And the last one is an example of exceeding the BIMI max size policy limit. So few instances of that as well. So I uploaded like a full list on GIST with all those instances. Taking a look at the policy violation example that I mentioned. So on the left one, this is the one, this is the certificate that's missing the mark certificate general policy identifier. On the right side, this one is still valid certificate. This one is using, as you see, prior use mark source URL is missing for a prior use mark certificate. These are the few examples of SVG title not matching company name. So BIMI policy recommends that title must be included that reflects a company name. So in that embedded SVG logo, there is a title element which should reflect company name. There is no strict requirement to have it exact match, but yeah, it should reflect the company name. And I have like, yeah, some examples where like a second one being like a random SVG title. And the first one is like, yeah, not matching or reflecting the company name. This last one I have, this one is like missing bunch of required elements from that embedded SVG. So like base profile or version or the title element, which is mandatory, that's missing. So this is one example. And yes, yeah, so this is how the certificate transparency is helping BIMI and email security ecosystem. And yeah, looking forward to questions and discussion.
Thanks for the talk. You found a number of issues that to me look like the certificate itself was misissued. So there's really some fault here was with the CA that provided that certificate. Is there any are there any repercussions now that you've detected these issues for the CAs involved or for the end entities that got the certificates?
Yeah, so the ecosystem is still evolving, and I will try to get in touch with them, the CAs, and they should like rectify. And the one example I gave, which is still valid certificate, that should be revoked. And I see that the newer ones are following all the policy recommendation. So policy is also evolving, and yeah, ecosystem is expected to evolve like we have for the web PKI ecosystem.
Yeah, thanks for the talk. So are any of the email providers checking SCTs in the certificates?
As far as I read, yes, they are checking the SCTs. So the inclusion in the log is like, yeah, recommended in BIMI policy.
Well, one of the issues you brought up is that the title of the SVG doesn't reflect the company name. But how did you find these? Did you just like check 6,000 certificates manually?
Not manually. So I ran some automated analysis. So I also tried to find if there are some security violations, so like script elements present in SVG. So SVG can have a lot of not so good things. And this is how, so I extracted organization name from subject and then title from the embedded SVG and try to match it like a vague match, because it need not be the exact match with case and everything. But like, yeah, these examples were output.
So you talked about like the potential for using transparency logs to identify brand misuse, but I'm curious what the sort of policy is around verifying like CMC certificates to make sure that you're not issuing something to someone for a brand that they don't actually own just because they like made a website that happens to have that logo on it for a few months.
For at least 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like a less strict validation, and that's how the policy states that if you use a brand logo for at least continuous usage of brand logo for 12 months on a website, and that can be like validated on web archive if that's the case, you get the certificate. So yeah, so certifying authorities can do further more stricter checks, but that's the like yeah, it's more for increasing the adoption of BIMI, because getting a trademark office validated certificate takes time. So I think once ecosystem evolves, there may be stricter yeah, validation checks. So as I mentioned, we have currently somewhere around 6,000 plus non-expired pre-certificates. So like, yeah, that's the number of kind of organizations. So the usage is that small, yeah.
Have you ever found a logo that should not be there, like somebody who claimed that they own a logo and used it, but it was the wrong company?
I haven't found that one. Yeah. So like in our brand trust product, it works more on the AI to analyze that logo, and yeah, that needs more analysis and trying to put some context and figure out if like, yeah, something wrong is going on.
Is it working now? Yeah. What prevents the BIMI CA from just not putting stuff on the log? So basically, what's the analogous of the Web PKI CT enforcement policy in this ecosystem?
Yeah, for this one, I need to get back to you and
Okay.
yeah, further
Thanks.
check this. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let's have a discussion and yeah, if I understand the question correctly. Yeah.
I'm actually kind of intrigued. Why did you choose to go for vector graphics as the only option instead of using raster graphics?
Could you please repeat? So what's...
Yes, you are embedding an SVG file that's normally used for vectorial graphics instead of, for example, a PNG file that would have raster graphics. What is the reason why you choose to go specifically for vector graphic logos, especially knowing that not all of the companies necessarily have a vector graphic version of their logo?
Yeah, again, I think this is defined by the BIMI working group. So yeah, it's more a question for them. Yeah.
Well, with that, let's say thank you again.